take over for a while. I'll be right back.
I was called upon to appear on virtually every talk show in America when these people died, because they had been on Inside the Actors Studio and because they had all answered that question. I'd rather not be the eulogist.
He allowed you to see the other side of people that you don't normally see. You got to see the inside of who they actually were. Such an incredible interview. So Inside the Actors Studio was one of cable's longest-running series, lasting 22 seasons, earning 20 Emmy nominations, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Lipton got nearly 300 actors, including many Oscar and Emmy winners, to share the secrets of their craft.
All right, that does it for us on this Super Tuesday morning. I'm Ayman Mohideen alongside Yasmin Rasugi. Morning Joe starts right now.
So the question that we have got to ask ourselves, which is a terribly, terribly serious question, is who is the best candidate? Which campaign is the best campaign to defeat Trump?
We're better than this president, and so get up. Let's take back this country. We're the United States of America. And there's not a single thing we cannot do if we do it together.
And then there were two. Not that long ago, the field of presidential candidates looked like this. More than 20 contenders vying for the Democratic nomination. Today, on this Super Tuesday, it looks more like this. Effectively, a two-person race between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, with Elizabeth Warren and Michael Bloomberg still in the mix. Good morning. And welcome to Morning Joe, Super Tuesday, March the 3rd. Along with Joe, Willie, and me, we have MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle, and MSNBC National Affairs analyst, co-host of Showtime's The Circus, and editor-in-chief of The Recount. John Heilman joins us. Great to have you all this hour.
And obviously, we're going to be talking in a little bit with Steve Kornacki. He's going to break down the numbers and let us know what's happening with Super Tuesday tonight. Best predictions, best case scenario for Bernie, best case scenario for Joe Biden. Things are moving quickly on the ground. There was a poll or two out yesterday that shows just how quickly things are moving. Also, Steve gave such a moving tribute to our good friend Chris Matthews. We'll be talking with him about that as well, and about Chris Matthews next block.
We're going to dive into all of yesterday's fast-moving developments surrounding Joe Biden's numerous high-profile endorsements. We also have the very latest on the coronavirus, as more testing confirms more new cases in the U.S. The total number of confirmed cases is now 110, including the first positive tests in Georgia and New Hampshire. Experts warn that number will grow as more people are tested, revealing just how much the virus was able to spread undetected. 4 more deaths have been reported in Washington state, bringing the death toll here in the U.S. to 6. The number of confirmed cases in China appears to be slowing down, but the virus is still moving fast across the globe. Here's what the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci, told NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel.
We're dealing with an evolving situation. We're dealing with clearly an emerging infectious disease that has now reached outbreak proportions and likely pandemic proportions. If you look at, by multiple definitions of what a pandemic is, the fact is this is multiple sustained transmissions of a highly infectious agent in multiple regions of the globe.
Okay, that's pretty strong. We're going to have a lot more on that, and the White House response to the virus just ahead. But we begin with Super Tuesday. That's today. 14 states hold their primaries from California to Maine, plus a caucus in American Samoa. More than 1,300 delegates are up for grabs, about a third of the total available in the race for the Democratic presidential nomination. 1,991 are needed to secure the nomination. California has the largest prize with 415 delegates, followed by Texas with 228 and North Carolina with 110. It's also a big test for Mike Bloomberg, who's on the ballot for the first time today after skipping the first 4 contests. And a dam break of endorsements for Joe Biden ahead of today's contests. 3 of his former rivals for the Democratic nomination all came out in support of the former vice president yesterday. Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, and Beto O'Rourke. Just a day after ending his presidential bid, Pete Buttigieg appeared at a campaign stop with Biden where he announced his endorsement, and Biden compared Buttigieg to his late son, Beau.
You know, when I ran for president, we made it clear that the whole idea was about rallying the country together to defeat Donald Trump and to win the era for the values that we share. And that was always a goal that was much bigger than me becoming president. And it is in the name of that very same goal that I'm delighted to endorse and support Joe Biden for president.
I don't think I've ever done this before, but he reminds me of my son, Beau. And I know that may not mean much to most people, but to me, it's the highest compliment I could give any man or woman. And I look over at Pete during the debates, and I think, you know, that's a Beau, because he has such enormous character, such intellectual capacity, and such a commitment to other people. And folks, I can't tell you how much it means to me that he would step up and endorse me. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it, because I promise you, you're going to end up over your lifetime seeing a hell of a lot more of Pete than you're me.
Later in the evening, Senator Amy Klobuchar, who ended her campaign yesterday, and Beto O'Rourke both joined Biden at a rally where they, too, delivered their endorsements.
It is up to us, all of us, to put our country back together, to heal this country, and then to build something even greater. I believe we can do greater. I believe we can do this together. And that is why today I am ending my campaign and endorsing Joe Biden for president.
We need somebody who can bring us together and heal us. We need somebody who can reestablish the moral authority of the United States. We need somebody who will fight for democracy here and abroad, because democracy is under attack here and abroad. We need Joe Biden.
And Beto will be our guest this morning. Biden also gained several other notable endorsements yesterday, including former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid and former National Security Advisor Susan Rice. A big day for Joe. Joe?
It really was, Willie. Incredible day in politics yesterday. And yes, a big day for Joe Biden. But let's not forget that front runner, Bernie Sanders. He is still the front runner. But this is effectively, there's been a narrowing, there's been a real focus. And in the Democratic Party now, it comes down to the question that Bernie said in that huge rally, and that is, who is the best candidate? What is the best campaign to take on and beat Donald Trump? This morning, it's game on.
Game on. You can't imagine a better 48 hours for Vice President Joe Biden, winning South Carolina by nearly 30 points, dominating among African-American voters who delivered that victory for him, and then picking up all the endorsements that you just laid out and that we just heard from Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Harry Reid, Mark Kelly out in Arizona, who'd been waiting to make his endorsement. This is what coalescing looks like. And John Heilman, the question will be today on Super Tuesday, as we have 1,357 delegates handed out. For context, we've only handed out 155 so far in these first four states. The question will be, is this a South Carolina story for Joe Biden, or is this now a national story for Joe Biden?
It is the question, and, you know, we know several things. We know that the Biden campaign was effectively dead going into South Carolina, and Biden's victory there is a combination of his own grit and Jim Clyburn's endorsement. And so when I say they were effectively dead, what I mean is they were broke. Yeah. And so the investments weren't happening in Super Tuesday states. They were not on the air in any of these 14, 15 states and territories. They don't have organizations on the ground in most of those places. that was a matter of necessity, not a matter of choice. They just didn't have the resources, right? So they looked up with this incredible victory on Saturday night that exceeded anyone's expectations, and now they have this narrow window. The schedule, the calendar is what it is. They have a window that's too small even to take advantage of the money that is pouring across the transom now into the Biden campaign. You just can't get on the air, can't convert millions of dollars into